Dear students, in the last two sessions we had seen the introduction to the poet and the analysis of the poem. In the first session we had seen the introduction to the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson, and in the second session we had seen the analysis of the poem Ulysses. Now in this third session we are going to deal with the annotation and the short questions based on this poem, which is already given in the text. The intention of making this video is to familiarize you to answer the questions on annotations. Now, when we see annotations, we need to know how to answer the question on annotations and how the question is framed and how the answer is to be framed. Now, in the university examination, how the annotation is going to be marked is also to be concentrated on. So, the annotation which is already given in the text is considered here. If you can see your textbooks, the annotation which is given as a sample is the same thing which you can see on this particular slide. This annotation we will see how to answer. The annotation from the poem is: much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils and governments. If you get a question like this, the answer is also given in the textbook. But how is this answer framed? You need to know the logic behind this answer. Whenever you are answering the annotation question, the beginning lines of the annotation answer should always be the name of the poem and the name of the poet, as given in this particular slide. You can see the same thing in your textbook as well. The answer starts this way: the above lines are from the poem Ulysses, written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. So it is very important for any student to specify the name of the poem and the name of the poet compulsorily, because whenever the question on annotation is valued, the first 2 marks out of 5 is given based on the correct name of the poem and the poet. So this is how you need to answer any question on annotation. The beginning sentence should be always like this: name of the poem and name of the poet should never be missed out. So the answer, after you finish off with your name of the poet and poem, you are going to deal with the lines which are given. Who said these lines? To whom is it said? What is the context in which the lines are said? These are the next 3 points that one has to consider after mentioning the name of the poet and the poem. Just like we have in Kannada, ಯಾರು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದರೋ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಸಹಿತ ವಿವರಿಸಿ, something like that you need to answer here. So if you can see the next few lines, the above lines are from the poem Ulysses, written by Alfred Lord Tennyson, who is considered to be one of the widely read Victorian poets in English literature. So this is the beginning part. The next part is the analysis of the lines. These lines appear in the context where the King Ulysses reveals the rich experience of his travels, sea voyages across the world. So who is the speaker of these lines? Ulysses is speaking. In what context? When he is talking about his rich experiences, he utters these words. So who is speaking and when is he speaking? These elements become important in the annotation part. So the line, now we come to the meaning of the lines. Firstly, we need to mention the name of the poet. Next, the name of the poem. Next, who said, to whom and when. After this comes the explanation of the poems. The lines mean that he has enriched his worldly knowledge by visiting many states, countries and islands across the wide globe. He has also encountered many kings, dictators, administrators, governments, council of ministers, different mannered people, countries of different climate conditions, cities of good men, so on and so forth. So this is the explanation of the lines. Now we conclude the annotation this way. In his monologic speech, he lets the readers know that his status is not less than those of any honored people in the world of his time. So this is how we conclude. Just one small conclusion for the explanation of the lines. So any annotation is given 5 marks, is allotted 5 marks. So how is 5 marks scored? Probably in the evaluation, nobody will be given 5 on 5. Maximum you can score 4 or 4.5 also if the language is very good and up to the mark. So first 2 marks will go for the name of the poet and the poem. The next 3 marks is for the analysis of the lines, who said to whom, when, and what is the meaning of the lines. This is how you need to answer any question on annotations. Next, we will move to the short questions and answers which are already given in the text. In the coming slides, in the following slides, you are going to see the questions, short questions which are there in the text already. You are supposed to answer these questions in a word or a phrase or a sentence, because every question carries 1 mark each. So you need to be precise. You shouldn't be giving too much of explanation. Be up to the point, like how you can see on the slides here. Now the first question, who is the speaker in the poem? The speaker of the poem is Ulysses, a great warrior and the king of Ithaca. So it's just one sentence you need to give. Even if you write Ulysses, that will also be considered correct. Now the second question, who is an idle king according to the speaker? Now the explanation should be within a sentence. It should not be too much of an explanation. It should fit 1 mark. According to Ulysses, an idle king is one who sits on his throne leading a useless life, doing nothing but eat, drink and sleep, dispensing unequal loss to his subjects. So this is how he explains in the poem. So we should not be giving general answers. Our answers should be based purely on the text. We'll move on to the next question. How does Ulysses describe the people of Ithaca? The answer you can readily find in the text. Ulysses describes them as savages, uncivilized people who do nothing but hoard, sleep and eat. So this is how he describes in the poem. The next question, why does the king say he cannot rest from travel? Again you get the answer. There are a few inferential questions and a few referential questions. Referential questions are the ones where you can pick the words and phrases directly from the text. Inferential questions, you will have to understand the poem and then frame your own answer. So here are a few questions like that also. So why does the king say he cannot rest from travel? This is an inferential question. The answer is, Ulysses being passionate towards adventure and knowledge, he becomes restless when he is idle and wants to drink life to the lees. So this is the answer. Though you get a few words directly from the text, you need to frame in a different way, understand and frame in a different way. Such questions are called inferential questions. Now the next question, what does the speaker mean when he says 3 sons to store? Now the answer is again an inferential question. The 3 sons to store means that Ulysses had wasted 3 sons, that is 3 years of his life, unpleasantly doing nothing but hoard himself, that is eating like an animal, sitting idly on his throne of Ithaca. Now the next question is, who is Telemachus? Telemachus is the son and the heir of Ulysses, which is directly seen in the text. Who are rugged people? This is also directly seen in the text. The subjects of the island of Ithaca are the rugged people. Now the next question, who are the friends of Ulysses? The mariners who had always accompanied him on many of his voyages and who are now raring to go on another voyage of adventure are the friends of Ulysses. So here also you can directly get as well as frame your own answer. Now the next one, what are the Happy Isles? In Greek mythology, Happy Isles refers to islands of the blessed, a place where Greek heroes like Achilles enjoyed perpetual summer after his death, equivalent to heaven or paradise. Probably this answer you can find in the glossary which is given in the text. Now who is Achilles? The bravest of the Greek warriors who was killed as a Trojan hero during the siege of Troy. So this answer also you can get it in the glossary section of the text. So this is how you're going to answer the questions on 1 mark the questions which are given 1 marks. And in the first part of the question paper, section 1 is 1 mark questions. So this is how you answer those questions. Thank you very much.